To chime in real quick on these testimonies that I've been capturing around the city of Greensboro. And I've been looking at the comments, the few that have came in. None have actually even been positive. Um, excuse me. And it's funny. One guy who leaves a comment, he has the the name pastor in his profile, and he's like, instead of writing a sign out, go apply to Amazon. And you can tell this is so judgmental because you're just watching an excerpt of the actual testimony, which I put into a short. And I know that you guys aren't watching the full testimony because I see the data, and not many people actually watch the long form. They just look at the short form, and it's just so sad how judgmental people can be from the outside looking at just an excerpt of a testimony through a short. I mean, another gentleman was like, the cream jacket is so clean, he's lying, or stop lying. It's like, you didn't even fully look at the jacket, because if you see the embroidery, you can tell that it says like PA, which is some kind of physician, doctor, and that's clearly not a doctor that's wearing that jacket. But, again, people just so negative, having so much darkness that they can't even say anything positive about these people that are obviously in tough times. I mean, that guy, I've been thinking about George ever since meeting him. It really crushed me to hear, that he's eating out of the trash can. And I know he's not the only one doing that, which leads me to something else. It's like the handful of people that I've came across so far that have actually gotten their testimony from, all of them had mental disorders, I would say. I mean, I don't know if George did or not. He might have, but I know like the folks on East Market, this guy that I haven't even dropped his testimony yet. His name is John. He was bipolar. All these folks have mental disorders. So it has me wondering, like, this is a real problem. All right. There's a lot of mental disability in this country, and I'm sure in the world. But I'm just focused on where I live at right now, which is the United States. And so what's the solution? How do we solve this? Obviously, it's not mental institutions. Obviously, it's not putting them in prison. And obviously, it's not just giving them medication. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was like, yeah, man, all these commercial properties that are just vacant, we can start there, like just by getting them shelter. Now, obviously, they need some kind of rehabilitation mentally, because this is a mental problem. These are mental disabilities. So I don't know, like, how this can be solved, but this is definitely something that's been pulling on my spirit as it needs to be addressed, and how we can fix it. So this is where I'm calling on the community, on the people, to be merciful. I mean, because anybody can be in this situation, and if you, and I know I can speak to this from personal experience. Anytime, that's why I don't use the word never, because anytime that I've said I'll never do ... it happens. So I stay away from using the word never. So I encourage you not to even look at it like, oh, you'll never be in that situation, because who are you? Anything can happen. All right? So let's just have compassion. And that's the thing, like the guy that had the pastor, title, was just like, there was no compassion in that, man. You know what I mean? Like, where's the mercy? And so this is another issue I have with the church buildings. If you look online, or if they have the hours of operation, on their bulletin board, or the sign outside, these places are functioning like businesses, like they open and they close. And it's just my thoughts. It's like, why does a church why shouldn't a church always be open to those that are in need? Because didn't Jesus come for the sick? And I know that's on different levels, like sick meaning like, being sinful nature, but literally he came for the sick. He didn't come for the healed. So why are we not treating the sick like they are healed? like they are your congregation, right? Why aren't we extending mercy? Because they have a mental disability. You know what that brings to mind? It's just like, all the disabled people that were at the sheep gate, and all these people that believed in, quote unquote, they believed in God, they believed in the law, but they did nothing. They didn't even do things that didn't require money. It was, which is even more sad, is that the people that I've interviewed, I'm not even calling it an interview. The people that I hung out with, talked to, got their testimony. They're like, man, people don't even come up to us and hang out with us. People don't even come in and try to get to know us, spend time, talk to us. They just ride by and look the other way. That's not godlike, because everything is about relationship. Think about it, like people were judging Jesus, but yet had no relationship with him. You see, when you go and take the time and not be afraid to be around certain people, then you'll get your heart will open. When you get to, like, hey man, why are you out here? Where are you from? How long you been out here, man? What's your day-to-day like? And just be compassionate. It doesn't take much. Go out there with a bottle of water. I'm sure they're thirsty. Something that everyone has. Everyone has some water. So, you know what I mean? Like, you can start there. It's not saying, hey, you got to solve their problem today. But hey, man, are you thirsty? You are? Here's a bottle of water. Tell me, man, I want to know why you're out here. Like, get to know the people that people tend to overlook. A lot of these people have great spirits. They're just down. They have a mental disorder. They need some compassion extended. They need some real mercy handed to them. So again, like, the problem that I'm seeing is mental disabilities. And I'm sure these people have families, right? But come on, like, we're all family because we're all breathing. We all breathe the same air. So we really need to figure out a solution to this problem, which is homelessness in America, right? It should be no excuse that someone's eating out of the trash. There's no excuse that someone couldn't shower for 5 days, and when they do shower, they got to go get a water hose and sneak and do this behind people's property like a dog, instead of taking a decent shower like a human being. And it touched me, like, with Patrick's story, because he's like, man, I felt more alive in prison. Well, heck, in prison, they at least got showers. They at least got a roof over their head. They at least know they're getting some type of food. But when you're on the street, you're clawing for a bite to eat. You're in search of shelter, and it's sad. Like, I know Patrick was telling me, he was like, yeah, man, some of these churches or these outreach facilities, they only open their doors when the weather gets, around 20 degrees, or, when it's freezing outside. But it's like, so you only let people inside for shelter when it's cold? You should let them inside every day, regardless if it's cold or hot, snowy or sunny, rainy or breezy, or a calm day. If they have no shelter, they have no shelter. If you have a building that you're not occupying, at certain times, let them come in and get rest. Oh, what are you concerned about? They smell. They have a mental disorder. Well, I'm going to encourage these churches, build some showers. You raise up all this money to add extensions to your temple. Why don't you raise some money to build some showers, or build an annex that can provide shelter, 24/7 shelter for those that are in need. Raise some money to hire, some therapists, psychiatrists that can come in and speak to these people to just, why don't you, donate your time to just sitting there. It doesn't take much to sit there and just See how you're doing. These are people at the end of the day. These aren't animals. These aren't insects. These are human beings with the same heart that you have, the same lungs that you have, the same brain that you have. They have hands just like you have. They have eyes and nose and a mouth and ears, 10 toes, 10 fingers, legs, arms, elbows, knees. They have everything that you have. It's just that the circumstances are a little different. But for you to do nothing but say you believe, for you to not extend any compassion, but focus on mastering the law, and focus on fasting, focus on, sacrificing to your flesh, but you can't even be merciful to someone because of how they look, won't even extend someone a job because they have no ID, won't give someone any kind of housing because they don't have a social security card. Come on. What would you want someone to do if you were in their shoes? Would you want someone to be like, go find your social security card, or go get you a permanent address, then come back, when you have nothing? What would you want someone to do for you? Because I'm pretty sure if you were in their shoes, you would be begging for help. So come on, family. It's time to act, man. Like, how do you want to leave this world? What mark are you going to leave on this world? Like, what have you done to help those that could do nothing for you? I don't care about what you do for people that you know. Life is not about what you do for people that you know. Oh, you help out family members. Oh, you help out friends. So what? You know them. But what about the person that's standing on the other side of the road that you don't know, that only has one leg and is in a wheelchair with a sign in the code saying, I need money for a room, or I need food, or I'm thirsty? What do you do for them? I don't care about what you do for someone that you know. That's not real compassion. To me, that's not a real extension of love. Who cares about that? What do you do for someone that you've never met before? Think about that. Take care, man.